But this is not the only time we're going to be meeting. We are happy to have follow-up sessions and just answer questions individually too down the road as we go. We are recording the meeting, so wanted everybody to be made aware of that. And then also the transcription will be available too. It should be live over the screen once the recording starts, and Jose will initiate that transcription. So I'm going to share my screen with a brief agenda. Using it today to sort of guide us. We didn't use it Tuesday, but I think it's just good to have a visual, and then we can certainly send this out to everyone after the meeting. But our goal today is just to go over the functions of JAG Specialist within Indiana Career Explorer, how you can use it, how best to help students by using it, how we best want to serve you through Indiana Career Explorer. I also want to introduce our intern who's going to help us with the facilitation today, and that's Brandon Huang, who is an IU student and working with us this summer. Okay, so the main role of Indiana Career Explorer JAG Specialist will be to design student groups. We'll walk through that briefly. Manage students, meaning contact them, notify them of events, help them with resumes, all of the things you do. You just have this electronic tool to support it. And then reporting, how we can do reporting through Indiana Career Explorer. So I always benefit from seeing the big picture, so I want to kind of walk through briefly how we even get to this point of having students registered as JAG students. We're just going to step back a minute and go to another screen and it's funny because I just always would do this, and then Erica did the same thing the other day in her plan. I think there are some new features that folks might not be aware of. So I wanted you to just see that registration page and how students are served, and then how they come to be in your group as a JAG specialist. I do want to add too, as was noted on the agenda, that we are working now, Futures will be working actually, I should say, to set up your accounts. So you will receive an email, if you haven't already gotten one set up, you will receive an email that your account has been added, and then you just need to go in. Your username is listed in the email. You just simply set up a password to activate that account. It's about a two-step process. So I want to walk through just briefly we're still having some folks come in. That's a good thing. So we're going to take a look at the registration page for students. Are you seeing my registration page?
Yes, we are.
Good deal. So if a student would have gone to indianacareerexplorer.com, they saw the landing page that we just moved from, and that's just to let them know, welcome to Indiana Career Explorer, you're in the right place. We hit register in the upper right corner, and then this is our registration page. Fill in their basic information. We don't ask for a lot of personal identifying information. It's kept to a minimum on purpose. The password, you're guided with, again, the 4 key character points in an effective password. The zip code is key in most cases, then and just helping organize our structure. But how can we serve you? This is what really helps us find our students and help students find us. So you may not be able to.
Where did you go to find the students?
We're going to take a look at that here in just a second. We're just stepping back a minute to show how the students register.
No, where did you go to register them? I didn't see that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Absolutely. Let me arrow back and see if hope this changes. We went to indianacareerexplorer.com, if you will. This is a test page, but it's just https indianacareerexplorer.com. And it will take you to this landing page. Are you seeing the landing page with 3 groups across the front?
Yes.
Good deal. And so, but I know I'm in the right place, and this gives a quick description of how to maybe find services, if you will. So say, in our case, student would hit join today. But I really.
It would be K through 12.
No, actually, in this case, no. And what I want to show you, though, is if I get into that too much, it's going to give me the wrong site. So to show you just the registration, students will just be advised to go in the upper right corner. That's a good question. K-12 is built out a little differently right now, and those landing pages are designed differently. So we want to guide our students toward the registration page. And this is in the upper right corner. This is the button that we would click. So we just went to indianacareerexplorer.com, sign up, the landing page, hit register, and this takes us to the registration page. Oh, and we will,
Thank you.
anytime. Thanks for the question. And then we will, can have a user guide too. We don't expect everybody to remember this step by step as I describe it this morning. So we'll be able to have just a user guide, and we have some training videos that are being checked for closed captioning right now. That's being enhanced for their function. So we'll have the training videos and the user guides available too to help everybody. So I'm again a visual, like to see the big picture. If I have a guide beside me or on another screen, I can kind of look ahead and see what I need to be doing. So this is where we would be, the
I
registration.
have a quick
page.
question.
Sure, go ahead.
When the students are putting in their email address, may they use their school email address, or do they need to use their personal email address? Because if they use the school address, for me, nothing from the outside comes in.
It's recommended they use their school email address. So tell me about that. This Futures is connecting with Department of Ed, who's connecting with schools to make sure that Futures is whitelisted and able to get in through all of the school filters. Is that a concern with you?
It may be, but we'll see what happens.
Hey, that's good to know. That didn't come up in any of our statewide training sessions on June 29th, so thank you. And we do want to make sure that we circumvent any issues like that. So the email address would be for the school. And then again, it kind of helps you with password setup, which is always good. And then how can we serve you? This is a key thing. And I know the drop down won't share with my screen, but if I arrow down, my options are you a student or in the workforce? I'm a student, I'm an adult ed student, I'm a job seeker, I'm a veteran. Again, so many of our DWD targeted populations. So I am going to hit, I'm a student. It immediately opens up some more fields. Grade level. Well, only to be a junior in high school again. Let's say I'm a junior. And then it knows right away, it wants to go a step further. Are you a JAG student? So this is how our students will register and be identified as JAG. And then we'll show you in a step here or two later how to retrieve them. So yes, I'm a JAG student. Then I list my school. Well, I literally am from Shelbyville High School and I used to work there, so. And then, yes, I'm old, I'm way old, so I'm over 13. So then I will hit register. And of course, I'm gonna get an error page because I didn't fill all this out, but this is how our students register and get into the JAG statewide pool, if you will.
I have a question.
Of course.
I work at an alternative school, and many times the alternative school does not come up. I don't know why. So would we use the local high school instead, or what would we use?
I'm going to defer to Laura on that. We have a list of all of the JAG sites and schools, so I'm thinking all of those would be entered. Laura, can
Emily,
you advise?
Are you at Burkett?
No, well, they've changed the name. It used to be
Okay.
Merit, and now
That's
it's Goshen Alternative Program.
Pam, can you try typing in Goshen Alternative and see if it's in the list?
Mm-hmm. Goshen Junior.
No.
Let's see, we do have some Goshen though.
Is Merit Learning Center in there?
There's yeah.
That's
real
what
quick,
it
I'll
used
look
to
at
be
that.
called.
There are
Pam, can
a
you-
couple of Goshen, but yeah, let me look at Merit, 2 R's and 2 T's.
No, just one.
1R.
Yeah, like a merit scholarship. No, it's not there.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll have that conversation
Okay.
with the developer and make
Okay.
that determination, because we have the same issue with some of our like CTE sites that have sending schools. So
Okay.
we'll come together to make that determination, and then we'll get that communication out to you all.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up, and thank you, Laura. So it's Merit in Goshen, correct?
The school is now called Goshen
Oh, I'm sorry, that, yeah,
It used to be
alternative.
called Merit, and they had a name change.
Yeah, Goshen alternative. Okay, sorry about that.
I have a quick question too.
Sure.
When we register for ICC, we don't use the school email because once students graduate,
Mhm.
that email deactivates. So is Indiana Career Explorer something that we're only going to have them using while they're in school?
Oh, that's a great question. No, it can follow a student through their next step, through jobs, post-secondary, career tech. And we double check that with the software developer, and their accounts can follow them and will be accessible after graduation. They can still log in with their high school credentials, even post-graduation, but we recommend changing the email address as soon as they're able, as recovery passwords from the platform will eventually not be accessible when their email address will be turned off. So it's like their account will just have a new set of credentials, as I understand it.
So I think what I will do personally, if this is acceptable, is just have them use the same email for ICE and ICC. So then they know that, oh, this is the email I'm going to use for these Career Explorer things.
That would sure be easier for students, wouldn't it? That would be helpful. Yeah, that's a good point. And we do recommend using their regular school email though for Career Explorer. So if they can they use that for ICC?
No, I don't.
No,
I don't
because
think
they
it-
won't have access after they graduate.
Okay. Maybe that's something that we could talk about in best practices or figure out a
Thank you.
procedure for that. But thank you for
appreciate that.
bringing that up. These are all good points. So ICC email. I know, and I was a school counselor for 11 years, and anything we can do to simplify it and streamline their work is awesome. Email address. I'm writing that one down. Thank you. So we need to check on Goshen Alternative, and then but this is how a student registers. And then it takes them to, I want to unshare this. So now as a JAG specialist, once your account is set up, we want to go to, let me go. I need to change tabs real quick. I'm sorry. Keep getting messages coming through. So I'm going to share now a new screen. That was a step behind myself. So this is, as a JAG specialist, once you set up your account, you will come to this list of students that are statewide in the JAG group, if you will. They're all statewide at this time. We're looking at other ways to structure that, but for right now, it would be a statewide grouping. And of course, if I go down to the bottom, you can see I have 81 pages of students. So of course you want to find yours, those with whom you work. And you'll notice a couple here are start, and I want to share how to do this. So by filter and sort, this gives us options here on the left screen, and you can filter by different options. Filter by school, for example. I just hit the drop down. Did it show the drop down now? Are you seeing find a site? Filter by school. Thank you. So I want to put in, say Rochester High School. Wait, I think I just went to the wrong. Oops, I need to go to this screen. Sorry about that. Rochester Community High School. I click on that and I hit the plus sign. And this will filter students. I've already gone in and filtered favorited these, but these will pull in all of the students who registered on that registration page we just took a look at and indicated that they were connected to Rochester High School. So all of those would come up, for example. And then if I want to create my own list from this large group, this brought all of the Rochester students right to the top for me of this 81 pages. So then I've clicked start here. Let me undo those if I can. So I should have done this before, but now if I want to go in and click, this is how I find my students. Then I would go back to manage cases, for example, to see the whole roster again. Those that I starred should be showing up sprinkled throughout these, but they will come back to the top of my page. If I go back to filter and sort, I'm going down to filter by favorite. I want to pull up those Rochester students. I click favorite here, and then they come to the top. So that's how I find the students that I previously went in, put a star by or favorited is the term that software developers use, and they show up first. I can filter and sort, again, by the starred favorite. I can filter and sort by school. And you can do more than one school at a time, for example. Let me do Arsenal Tech. Oops, I could spell yesterday. Tech. And I want to do Rochester. They list up here as the ones for which I am filtering. And then let me look here. I'm sorry, I think only one just took at that time, but filter and sort, Arsenal Tech. Let me do Rochester. Now I wanted to search two schools at once. I simply typed in Rochester, hit the plus sign. So in the upper section highlighted in green, it tells me, or it indicates real quick the schools for which I'm looking for students and filtering, so they will all come to the top. I can also filter and sort by grade level. Let me start over. Filter and sort, come down here. If I want to look up all juniors because we have a hiring event, or I mean a career fair, I should say. Then I look over here and all my juniors have shown up. The ones that I had favorited. These are also good ways to look at your students, to track their progress. This is sort of your overall list. So this will give the student's name. Status is something that we're working on. We really need to pare down that list to make it more applicable for student staff or school staff, I'm sorry. A lot of these may pertain to workforce, but this gives the last login date. Some of them did before the school year. Alondra was pretty ambitious. How many logins they've had total. Applications refers to a job search and employer matching, which is not turned on in Indiana Career Explorer. Indiana Career Explorer's main functions in serving students and job seekers are the assessments, career interest, work values, and agilities. Or skills aptitude it's a type of agilities, and then career exploration. So we're not doing any job matching at this time, but that's what applications would refer to. And then complete. This indicates how much of David Perez's profile he has completed. And we can take a look at that in a bit too. So if I want to look at the assessments that David has completed, I clicked on that assessment column, learn more about their interest, agilities, and work values. This is a one-page summary sheet, if you will, for all of the 3 assessments I just described: career interest, agile work profiler, which measures agilities, which is kind of a new term. Agilities are a combination of what you like to do and what you're good at, which if you hit on that, that's awesome. And then work values, the things that are most important. So if I want to see David's career interest results, he's only taken this one so far. I click on view results. And it should take me to his dashboard. It's not doing that. It did it earlier for some. Let me see if I can find another student. Oh, it's still running. Okay, there we go. Just took a minute. So David, when he took the interest inventory back in January, it looked like, he came up with these top industries as his Three main results: hospitality and tourism, public safety corrections, ag, food, natural resources. It will give examples in each of these industries. For hospitality and tourism, for example, we've got animal trainers. These may have been ones that he precisely searched and looked for. You'll notice the flame rankings to indicate how in demand these occupations are in Indiana. And he can get a lot of information. Some of you may have already been through this and looked at careers and all this good stuff, but that's how you can indicate, or I'm sorry, how you can view and get a good indication of the careers that your students have indicated interest in. So I'm going to go back out of that page. It took me right back to my main list. If I want to message David and say, David, we've got a career fair in hospitality and tourism next Thursday, I click on that, like texting message icon. I can type a message here and send it to him that way. I can also, what's pretty cool, send that same message about that same hiring event to these students, the top 3, click messaging. Now, they will all get the same message, but it's anonymous to each other. They don't know the others have received it. So that's a good privacy gateway. Let's see. Also, the counselor always initiates, our JAG specialist initiates messaging. So, but if you were to have a message up here in reply, then this would be a red dot, an indicator that you have a message waiting. So that's kind of fun. Hello, admin, that would be me, but it'll be it's actually set up in the account holder's name. So it would say, hello, Pam, you have no new messages today. In addition to that red dot as an indicator, I would have gotten an email that said, check Indiana Career Explorer, you have a message. Any questions about this section? Going back to managed cases. Also, for reporting, I've got all these students, and let me go back and pull my favorites. So now if I want to run a report on these folks, these students, I click reports here. I click user report underneath in the drop down, user report, and it will provide me, if you'll see in the bottom left, I got too many, but if you see in the bottom left, it just sent me an Excel file for ease of use. That's one way that they can organize them in an Excel file. Is that opening now? I hope you can see on my screen. I just opened that Excel file.
We're
And it
still
gives-
seeing the Indiana Career Explorer dashboard.
Oh, thanks. Okay, let me unshare and reshare if I can. There we go. Thank you, Laura. So this is the report it just sent me. And you'll see, I do want to share some of the main columns, which are of interest to us as JAG staff. So it would be, you'll see all across the top from left to right, we have C in school. So that you kind of indicate, or I quickly identify the school they're with. This is an overall report. This did not print all just my favorites, but then if I would go to some additional ones, I want to look at AF. Have they completed assessments? Yes. AG is favorite industry. AH, the column is favorite career. And then AJ is grade level. And then AK was just confirming that I have the JAG students filtered here. So again, we hit that through, we obtained this report. Going to just take a step back. Now I'll reshare where we were. We were in the managed cases. We're back to that page. And I had hit reports up here. More than one staff person in a school is able to see students and support them, for example. So if I wanted to see maybe some messages or track some history of service through other staff, I can, who also have accounts set up in Career Explorer. And that's the key. They would have to have their account set up with that school building and be working with that student. The other drop down in reports is case history notes. So same button in the left one in the upper right corner, I hit case history notes. Oh, yeah. It took a minute to load. Sorry, let me go back to that again. Case history notes. There it is. Let's just share really quickly what that looks like. It just brought a quick summary of notes for that student and the date that they were issued. So I want to switch a screen again. It's a lot of screens, but it just does help in our demo session today. I'm going to go back to manage cases again. I can always get back to where I need to be with this button, manage cases here. Direct in the upper section, the upper array of tabs. Second over from the left directory is if there are other case managers or counselors in the system. Although this has not fully been loaded yet, but it would give me a listing of others that may be using this within that same building. FAQs, this is always good. Just quick resource on how do I reset my password? How can I see a student assessment result? Are you seeing my screen of a list of FAQs or not? Just the roster.
We are seeing the FAQs.
Good,
Yeah.
thank you. How can I contact technical support? So all of these are questions are just for quick access right here. Then career exploration that across the top. Again, and so many of you have navigated through this, and we talked about this in June too, but this is just a quick access for looking at industry and careers, education options, and again, resources for students. I want to go back to my list. So there's managed cases. Let me see. I do want to take a quick look at student profiles really quick. Go back to my list of students here, and I'm going to go down to JAG student 2. This takes me to that student's profile. Did that show up okay on the screen?
Yes, it did.
Thank you. So I can, for Grace Salinger, I can direct message Grace from here. I can view her profile, which is pretty sparse right now, but I'm not so sure that'll even transfer with the screen. The resume, which Grace had built through her profile, I can download that. Laura's been in touch with Grace. And so I can look at case history here. I can send her a message, any files that she has uploaded, and goals. This is a good conversation tracking mechanism with students or to help them in goal setting. So I just clicked on goals, and I hope you're seeing the drop downs. Just to help find out kind of some next steps for Grace. She wants community college for an associate's 4-year armed forces certification. So that is one way to access your student's profile. And then I'll go back to manage cases so that I can start fresh. Again, I can run a report, I can message, I can favorite, I can search. Jose, Laura, have I left anything out regarding some of these functions that you can think of?
You've hit them all, Pam. You pretty much.
Well, anybody have any questions about all we've covered? It was a lot of screens, a lot of switching.
I have a question like, how do the students access the assessments and how long will the assessments take?
None of the assessments, none of any of the three take more than, I would say 7 minutes. The longest is the Agile Work Profiler, and we'll take a quick look at how to access those. Thank you for asking. Actually, that one takes
said they
about
take
7 or 8
5 to
minutes. The
7
other
minutes?
two, yeah, the other two are about 5 minutes. The interest assessment and the values are about 5. The Agile Work Profiler is a little longer. I'd say 7 or 8. I will show you best way to get to those. So I'm going to go to another screen. I went through this morning and cleaned out all of my 17 passwords.
Are you showing us how the students get to it? Because that's what I was wanting to know is how did the students get to it?
Absolutely. I just logged on to mine. So let me see if I can share that screen with you now.
It was his assessments.
Yeah, I'll show you where they're located real quick. So a student would log in, they would go to, after they register, they do that registration and all the general info that we saw and indicate they're a JAG student. They can come to a landing page. Now, the one that's being developed for 9 through 12 will look slightly different, but there is a up here in the tabs across the top, I have dashboard profile from any of the dashboards for high school, middle school, or this one. Assessments are obtained right through this upper corner. I hit career exploration, drop down. The very first tab says assessments. It takes me to the page where they are all, and this should be in the user guide too. So this is a page where all of the assessments are located. So this is the assessment page. Again, I got it up here through career exploration, assessments. And we're working closely with Department of Ed. We meet with them at least once a week to build out the 9 through 12 and later actually 6 through 12 and then the K through 5 career exploration experience. That the younger set is going to have some iconography and a little different design, but 6 through 12 is pretty much ready to go, and they are rolling that out kind of on their own schedule. So I want to just show you these pages for now. And they're not going to be vastly different. The navigation is not going to be much different either, but their assessments can always be easily accessed. Department of Ed just wanted to wait and roll it all out at once when those other landing pages were built. But again, come up here to this tab, career exploration, assessments, brought me to this page. And you can take, like it knows, of course, I can take this again because I've already taken it once. I could take this again, the Agile Work Profiler. Those are the 10 agilities measured. And each agility is an indicator of what not only do you like to do, but what you are good at. And then work values, what's most important to you. So they're all on one page. And that is key. Thank you for bringing that up. And then their results are fed back to their dashboard. So it showed again, maybe what mine were. So does that help? I hope.
Yes, very much. Thank you.
Anytime. Any other questions?
I have a quick question, but it doesn't really relate to what we're doing. I'm friends with one of the preparing for college and careers teachers at school, and
Yes.
she knows that the system has changed because of last year, but she's getting panicky that she doesn't have access yet. Do they have to wait for the Department of Ed to push theirs out? And do they, because I said, I have a training, I'll ask.
No, it's good you did, and we can really empathize. But yes, for the teachers with curriculum like that, we are working on a process to do to do an onboarding through data systems with Department of Ed. So, yeah, for preparing for college and careers or intro to college and careers, and it's a kind of a tough situation. But they do want all of those to be onboarded, and they encourage teachers to go in and take a look and navigate through that, maybe to set up their own personal account if they want, but they're all going to be onboarded through a new system with Department of Ed, and then they can like eliminate the duplicated ones. And we do empathize. I met last week with the Kokomo Area Career Center staff. They were having professional development all week last week, and the best I could do is just show them the new system and the good functions for students and the ways that we want to support staff. And then they're just going to kind of hang tight till they get the word to go in and set up their accounts from Department of Ed.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I know, and I know they want to get busy. They want to set up lesson plans. So thank you for bringing that up. And Jose, would you, well, I can do it real quick. I will just put our help desk email in the chat, and I can do that super quick. And then they want to, they can get with us at any time. Oops. And we do get, we get a couple inquiries a week from schools, and we always copy our colleagues at Department of Ed on those, just to let them know about the questions that are out there. So thank you for bringing that up and speaking on your friend's behalf. Any other questions? We covered a lot of stuff. Okay. Well, I can go ahead and wrap it up, and everybody can get on with their morning. If we think of anything later, we'll certainly notify you in an email.